You're listening to Fluent in Canine. I'm your host, Sarah Ann Reed, holistic dog trainer, behavioral consultant, animal communicator, and owner of Pack Dynamics. In this episode, I'm going to be having an intuitive chat with a pup called Suukko, a little Frenchie whose parents have reached out to me with a few questions for her. When I'm communicating with dogs, actually all animals, they will share messages with me by showing me images in my mind, videos. If they're feeling something emotional, I will feel that emotion myself. If it's something physical, I will usually feel the sensation in my body. For example, throbbing or a pinching. And then in my mind, they will show me an image of their body and highlight where that pain or discomfort is. And it's also like feeling the words that they're sharing with me. So it's usually a combination of all of those things. Their personalities also come through during the chat. So I'm really excited to talk to little Suukko and find out what she has to share. Oh, she is so funny. So when they're ready to talk to me, they will show me a line and they'll step up to the line like waiting in queue to buy something. And she's actually hopping back and forth on her front leg. She is so excited to talk today. She's a little spitfire. She's she's laughing. She's really funny. And now she's doing cartwheels. She's very excited to step up to the mic and have all of the attention on her. She's saying, I'm in the spotlight today. She is just a hoot. Okay, honey, yes, one of your dad's questions is, are you happy? Okay, she's so funny. Okay, she's saying, well, look around. She says, how could I not be happy? I have the best mom and dad in the world. Look at all of my sisters and my brothers. I couldn't be any happier. I'm surrounded by love all the time, every day. And she's saying, you go above and beyond in taking the very best care, not just of me, but of all of us. You're always aware of our behaviors. If we're acting a little off, if we're not feeling 100%, you're right there because you're paying attention and you notice if we're feeling something physical or emotional, if we're struggling with something, you're always seeking out an answer to help us. And she's saying, she's putting her little paw on her heart, and she says, I couldn't be more grateful to be with you, to be part of this beautiful family. She says, I know I'm a jokester and I'm always being silly and making you laugh, but and she says, you know this, I have a very sensitive side. And I love with my whole heart. And I feel that both of you, mom and dad, you love me with your whole heart. Even, she says, even when you might be wagging your finger at me because I've been a little stinker. And she's rolling her eyes at her and she's laughing. And now she's showing me an image of her being on her back, kicking her legs up in the air, thinking that she's so hilarious. Okay. She says, so yes, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I'm very, very happy. Okay. And another question that your dad has for you, honey, is there anything else that you need? Okay. So she says, well, since you asked, is there anything else that I need? Um, she says, you know how patient I am. I'm very, very patient. I kind of sit on the sidelines, uh, and I try to be very respectful, yeah, of all of the fur babies in the home and everyone's needs. And I also don't like to ruffle feathers too much. I try to help. Um, okay. I try to help intervening to keep the peace. Sometimes between the other dogs in the home, but then I'm put in my place and told um, that's not for me to do. Okay, so and she says, you know who I'm talking about. Okay, okay. Uh, so I've learned to sit on the sidelines a little bit, and I'm not. I might be silly and goofy, but I'm not very demanding as far as trying to be in the limelight and get attention, like some of my sisters. And she says, again, no names need to be mentioned because you know exactly who I'm talking about. She's laughing. And she says, I love them so much. Um, but they're always right at the forefront asking for attention. And I kind of wait on the side. Okay. She says, because you have busy lives and there's a lot of us fur babies to take care of, sometimes because uh, I can be uh, quiet in my own way, and very patient. She's saying, well, not so much quiet always, uh, but patient, just kind of waiting. Okay. She she would really like it, and she's saying, I understand. There's only so many hours in the day with everything else you need to get done and everyone else that needs attention and love and care. But if you could take after everyone else who's saying, give me attention, kind of waving their hands in your face, so to speak, you've given them attention instead of going, oh, well, Suukko's fine because she's just over there hanging out. If you can then invite me over for attention too, yes, I would really love that. She feels like she needs to kind of wait to be invited a little bit more. Yeah. And she loves it. She's showing when you call her over and she gets snuggles. It doesn't need to be for very long, she says, because you know how excited I get and how expressive I am. It's hard for me to contain my joy. She says, I'm so joyous all the time. It's hard for me to contain my joy. So when I'm getting affection, I'm very animated, she says. Uh, it doesn't need to be for very long, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Uh, but if you can uh, intentionally call me over just a little bit more often, she says, I would really appreciate that. Okay, honey. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. She's doing a little curtsy and she's, oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Anything I can do to help, she says. She is so funny. Okay, honey. So your mom would like to ask you about a quirky behavior that you have. And she's saying, which one? Oh, she's a hoot. Okay. Okay, I'm showing her I'm showing her this behavior. So, yeah. Okay. Uh so when guests come over to the house, they have to be asked to put their purse, their bags up and out of reach, like um, on the top of a cabinet, on a shelf, because if it is on the ground, Suukko will rifle through their things. She will, yeah, she's showing me. She goes through people's bags. She's showing, pulling things out, like getting into the purse, getting into the bag, and pulling things out to see what's in there. Okay, and she says it is so embarrassing. My mom gets very disappointed in me and a little upset with me when I've done this before. And she's doing the little dance, like back and forth, like I don't see why it's such a big deal. It's so fun to go through people's things and see what's in there. Okay, so your mom would like to know, honey, why do you do this? Okay, so she's showing me an image of her head stuck in someone's purse, and this is a big purse. Um, and she lifts her head out while I ask her the question, and she says, "What do you mean? It's fun." She she says it's it's like a treasure hunt. I never know what I'm going to find. There's so many different smells in the bags. Oh, and she's okay. She's rubbing her hands together like this, and she's saying, "Sometimes there's food in there, and it tastes so good to get food that I don't usually get." And she's putting like her like if her paw was a hand, she's putting her finger up to her mouth, going, "Shh, don't tell anyone." Um, and she's laughing because she knows that her mom knows that she's going to do this. Um, okay, she says, "You know how smart I am. I have been successful. I've been successful in the past going through people's things and finding something really yummy." And she's rubbing her tummy. She's saying, "So delicious, something I would never normally get." Hee hee hee. And she's laughing. Hee hee hee, I got away with it before they noticed. Okay. So she enjoys the smell of it. She enjoys the experience of just smelling everything and seeing if there's any food in there, and also seeing if there if there's something that she could okay, something that she could play with. Sometimes I find a really cool toy, she says. Maybe it's not meant to be a toy, and she's chuckling again. Um, but I can play with it, and it's so fun. And she shows finding something, having it in her mouth. And she's showing an image of having this new treasure that she's found in her mouth. She's booking it, running down the hall, looking over her shoulder with a twinkle in her eye and so much mischief, knowing that she's not supposed to have it, but trying to take off with it as quick as she can, before she's caught. Oh, she is so funny. And okay, she says, even though I know I'm not supposed to do things like this, I, and she's putting her finger up to her mouth again, and she's chuckling, and she says, I kind of enjoy the chase. It's pretty fun because I know I'm not supposed to do it, but how fun is it to do something that you're not supposed to do sometimes? It's really fun. And she says, I know you've had chats with me and told me that this is not okay, that I'm not supposed to do this, but I don't really care that I get in trouble. It's worth it. It's worth the fun. I enjoy it. Um, she says, I may be the quiet one sometimes, but I'm the mischievous one. And okay, and that you can't really turn your back on for a moment with anything that you know that I could get into, because I'm going to get into it. I'm going to be watching to see if you leave my sight so that I can go I can go and get into something even though I know I'm going to get in trouble for it. It's fun, she says. Oh, she's so funny. Okay. And okay, and she says it's another way to bring the spotlight on me, to have all of the attention on me for a moment. Okay, and she's saying sometimes I do these quirky, mischievous things because they make you laugh. Even if on the outside you're saying, Suukko, what are you doing? This is not okay. You're laughing on the inside, and sometimes you're actually laughing out loud because I'm hilarious, she says. And she's doing a little dance. And so, okay, sometimes she says, I do this so the spotlight's on me and I get attention. And sometimes I'm doing this to lighten the mood a little bit, or because you've been engrossed in one of your many, and she's laughing. She says, Mom always has projects, project after project after project. She finishes one project, she's already got three to five more lined up that she wants to do. There's always more projects. And she says, yeah, sometimes she does these things to say, Mom, can you please take a break from the projects and just be, just be, uh, just be with us, just be present with us, and bring your attention to the here and now. And she says, Mom's getting a lot better at this. Oh, okay. In in the job that she's had for a long time, it was heart-wrenching and stressful, and Mom brought work home all the time, and mom and dad have a really big heart, uh, but sometimes I would do these funny things to make Mom laugh, which helps her come into the present moment. Yeah. Okay. And then she says it just became habit for me, and this now it's just kind of what I do. Okay, she's showing me something else. She says, you didn't ask this question, but you're wanting to know that why I do this. Okay. She's showing your pool table and she jumps onto the pool table and she says, I'm very athletic. I know I'm not supposed to do this because Mom gets very concerned about me jumping on and especially off, that I might hurt myself. But she says, I can't help it. I love, she's showing an image of Tigger, like the bouncing. She loves being able to do it. She says, I am a daredevil. I love when you're trying to sneakily come over to me to pick me up, to lift me off the pool table before you can get to me. I love launching off the pool table and flying onto the ground and then doing the zoomies through the house. And doing my little happy dance, like, you can't be upset with me, can you? Because look at how cute I am. I'm just adorable. I'm so funny. It's the it's the feeling that she loves of that freedom and the flying through the air. She's showing an image of someone like skydiving. She says a daredevil is just part of, I'm just a little daredevil. It's part of who I am. And she's saying you could put stairs, you could have custom-made stairs made that go all the way from the ground to the top of the pool table so that I could come down the stairs, and I wouldn't use them. I would launch off the side. The only way to stop me from doing this, and she says, you already know, when we're going out to go to the bathroom and we come back in, if you're not, if you don't have eyes on me all the time, I will stay back and I will sneak my way onto the pool table so that I can launch off. Yeah. And she says, you know this, you have to keep eyes on me. Because I've got so many tricks up my sleeve all the time. Okay. I know you don't like me doing it. Oh, okay. Okay. She's saying, if you would like to, you could have she's showing you getting like 6 dog beds and piling them one on top of the other and putting them on the ground close to the pool table on the area that she usually jumps off, so that she doesn't have quite so far to go and it's a softer landing. And she's saying, no guarantees I'll use it, but it would make you feel better, Mom. You could try that. Okay. Okay. Thank you, honey. Okay. And she's bringing up some things you haven't asked about. She's showing me if you don't have eyes on her getting into things, like especially the tote, she says, where you have things stored, and she'll get it out, and she's saying demolish things. Okay. She's saying when I do something like that, that's more quote unquote destructive, that's because your focus has been elsewhere for too long. You've been focused on you've been stressed out at work. You've been really focused on a project and haven't lifted your head up for a long time. Not for hours, but she's talking like days, weeks, because you get so zeroed in on something. that you have to finish it. And she says, I understand that you want to get things done, and I don't need much time. But she's saying when I get destructive like that, it's my way of saying, Mom, Dad, hello, hello. I may be patient, but I'm not getting my needs met. I really need some time. And she's saying, even if we play together for a little while, we snuggle together in our in the puppy room. It doesn't require a lot, but even if every few hours you spend half an hour or an hour, yeah, just a little bit more balance while you're doing your projects. And she says, I know that they feel so good to get them done, and you've had so many projects to do in the house that have had to get done. She says, I don't want to take away from that, but I just want you to understand when I'm what you think of as naughty, it's just because I've been trying to say, hello, I need I need a little bit more attention. And then it builds up and builds up, and then I have no other way to tell you but to do something more drastic. Thank you, honey. And your mom would also like to know, yeah, when you're on the highway, it seems like you get car sick. Is that right? Do you get car sick? Oh, wow. Okay. So as I'm asking her this, I'm feeling a bit nauseous myself. My stomach feels queasy. I feel nauseous in my throat. And I feel like I'm spinning a little. Okay, what is causing you to feel car sick, honey? Okay, everything whizzing by so quickly, she says. I'm feeling really nauseous now. Okay. Everything is going by so fast. Um, and it's really makes her feel really uncomfortable. Okay. Is there anything that they can do to help you with this, sweetheart? Okay, she's saying, I'm not sure if she's loose in the car when you're traveling, if she's in a car seat or in a crate, but it feels like if she can see out the windows, that makes it, increases that feeling for her. Um, Let me just confirm this real quick. What would help you? Okay. When I ask her what would help her, she's showing me an image of like being in a crate, maybe a small crate. Yeah, a smaller crate that she can just curl up in, and she's showing being curled up in a blanket, to where she's kind of cocooned and she doesn't need to see what's going on, and she can just go to sleep. Okay. Is there, she's showing a car diffuser with some calming scents as well. But if she can smell those, that can help her feel more relaxed. Let me ask her what that scent would be. Okay. She's showing a mixture of vanilla and lavender. If you can find something like that, it will help her feel more relaxed. And she's saying if we can also bring, she's calling it chaos, bring the chaos down a bit, because it feels like, she's calling it busy. It's pretty busy in the car when we're traveling, and then she's looking around more because there's so much movement in the car with the other dogs in the car. And then she's more likely to look outside. So if she's separated a little bit more from that, that would definitely help her. Yeah, she's showing, oh, okay, thank you. If you can get, uh-huh, uh, uh, like a screen for the windows to block the view, like you do a shade for children, so that if they're sleeping in the back of the car, the window is blocked and the sun doesn't come in and wake them up. Yeah, if you can have shades in the windows to block the view, that would be very helpful. If you don't, okay, in the back, she's saying, yeah, where we are, that would be very helpful if there isn't a way to put her in a crate. But she's saying if I could be, if you could create a space for me, she's showing a little bit further back, maybe a little nest, she's calling it, that she can just curl up in and she can't see outside whizzing past, that would be very beneficial. Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to share, Suukko? Okay. She says, I think that's enough for now. And she's saying, thank you. She says, thank you so much for wanting to know how best to support me and help me and understand and honor who I am. And she's she's giving you each a big hug and saying, I love you this much. And she's spreading her paws out as wide as she can. I'm just going to thank her for chatting with me today. Thank you, Suukko. She's doing a little curtsy and she's showing herself being on stage. And the spot, she's dancing off stage, and the spotlight is following her as she's dancing off stage. Okay, I just saw her go behind the curtain, and then she popped her little head back out around the curtain and waved, bye, bye. Oh, she's hilarious. I hope that you have enjoyed listening to this intuitive conversation with Suukko. You've been listening to Fluent in Canine. Blessings to you and your fur babies. Until next time.